Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is going to be another Christmas movie review for you guys, and this movie I'm going to be reviewing, finally, I think like for the past 4 movies, I've only reviewed movies that I've previously seen. Well, for the first time in a while, it's going to be a movie that I haven't seen, a movie that I just watched for the first time, and I'm very happy at it because this is a movie that I've always really wanted to see, and recently, I think this year, I discovered this really was a Christmas movie. And it's really weird that it's a Christmas movie if you think about it. But it kind of is because of what the movie represents, which I'll get to. But that is the 1984 horror comedy classic Gremlins. Gremlins is a movie that I've always wanted to see. I've always been very interested in this movie. I knew the basic story of it and everything, but I don't know. I didn't really know a whole lot about this movie, a whole ton of it. I knew a few things about, but not like a ton of stuff. But I rented it from my library. I figured I would because it is Christmas time, and I heard this is actually one of the best Christmas movies to watch this time of year, which I find very odd because it's not something I associate with Christmas. However, I'll talk about why I think it's a Christmas movie. But let's get to the basic. But after watching Gremlins, what did I think of it? Gremlins is an absolute masterpiece. I am so happy I watched this movie. I love this movie to death. I think it is one of the best Christmas movies ever made. I think it's a movie that everyone should definitely check out. It's very different from any Christmas movie you've ever seen, but that's because this movie is more of the horrors of Christmas and the sadness and depression of it. We'll get to that, but let's first talk about the plot of Gremlins. The plot of Gremlins is pretty simple. It focuses on this dad. First part of it focuses on this dad, Randall. He wants to get his son, his 20-year-old, 1-year-old son. He's a struggling inventor. He wants to get his son something really unique, a very unusual Christmas present. And he discovers this furry creature called a mogwai, which in Cantonese apparently is monster. And it's in a Chinatown antique store. And at first the owner's like, "Oh, I'm not giving this to you," and everything. Saying that, he doesn't think he's responsible enough to get one, but Randall's leaving the store. The owner's grandson sells Randall the creature, explaining that his family needs the money, and, basically, there are 3 things that, when you look after Mogwai, you cannot do to it. You can't expose it to bright lights, because it will kill it. You can't get it wet, and no matter how much it cries, never ever feed it after midnight. Well, when Randall delivers it to his son, he doesn't explain that to him. So his son sort of breaks all 3 of those rules, and his son starts to, what Billy starts to, his son Billy, what he starts to realize is that doing all of these things have certain consequences, especially after you get it wet, which is when it multiplies, and basically he ends up starting some sort of after it multiplies, he finds out that they're multiplying and everything, and that's basically the plot of the movie, is why is this happening, and he wants to find out what's going on there, and that's basically the plot of Gremlins. But that's the gist of it. There's a lot more to this movie besides just it's a Mogwai movie. Because there's a lot of things to talk about this movie. First of all, it is a movie that I think has changed its tones so much, and it actually works very, very well. The first half of this movie is pretty funny, actually. I'd say it's a fun comedy, really. Really, it is. It's something to the equivalent of, like, E.T. The beginning with this creature, Gizmo. Gizmo is one of the cutest creatures in movie history. He is. He's completely adorable. You can't help but fall in love with Gizmo. You just can't. And you love seeing him on screen. You love everything about him. He's such a cute creature. But then this movie gets extremely, extremely dark in the second half, and I think it's one of the things the movie does so well. But let's get to the acting of this movie. This movie has some fantastic acting, which is very surprising. I didn't expect this movie to have very good acting. I expected this movie to be actually kind of cheesy, but it ended up not being cheesy at all, and I thought the acting was really, really good, actually. First of all, our main star here is Zach Galligan as Billy, and I thought his character was great. His character obviously really wants to take care of the Mogwai. He doesn't listen to really what his father tells him, so he kind of just does his own thing. But what I like is that he's not stupid. He's not stupid in the sense that, oh, I'm just going to do it again. No. He starts to realize, okay, this is what's happening to them, and he wants to uncover more stuff about them. That's one of the things I liked about his character, is that he really wanted to find out, okay, what's going on with the Mogwai? Why are they this way? I thought that was very well done, and I definitely really enjoy that. He even gets his high school scientist involved, I believe. But I thought, one of his one of his ex-teachers, which I thought was interesting, and I definitely liked that about his character, and I thought that he portrayed it very well. He also has some very good emotional scenes in this movie. There are some very good emotional scenes, but most of that comes from Phoebe Cates' character as Kate, and her character, a lot of people say she has the worst twist in the movie, which I will talk about. But her character, what I like about her character is that she's a very mysterious character. We know she doesn't like Christmas. We know she's not into it. We know she doesn't celebrate Christmas. And we eventually find out why. And I'm going to talk about right now why. And if you guys have not seen Gremlins, I'm going to talk about a big spoiler with the character right now. Of course, we find out that her father wanted to surprise him as Santa. He ended up breaking his neck and falling down the chimney. And that's why she doesn't believe in Santa Claus. Now, a lot of people, and she doesn't believe in Santa Claus, she hates Christmas and things like that. Now, a lot of people think that twist is terribly done. But in my opinion, I really like it because it adds to this movie. It adds to her character. It gives her character depth. It makes us, care about her more. And really adds to what this movie is trying to say, which I will talk about. But I thought Phoebe Cates did a very good job in this movie, especially in the second half. She's actually not in the movie a ton in the first half, but she's in it a lot more in the second half. And I thought she did a very good job, definitely. I really liked her character. Hoyt Axton as Randall or Rand, Billy's father, I thought did a great job. His character narrates the movie. Second he comes on screen, I was fascinated by his character. His character was very, very well done. He really wanted to provide for his son. I thought he did a very good job with that. Everyone else was very good as well. Lynn Peltzer was really good. I definitely want to talk about the scientist that Billy gives. He gives a Mogwai to one of the scientists. I thought whoever played the scientist, Mr. Hansen, was very, very good. I thought he did a very good job in the movie, definitely. Definitely a very good job for him. The directing this movie by Joe Dante is perfect because it's very realistically portrayed. I mean, when you would first get a creature, she would think of this like this harmless, innocent thing when you don't really realize how powerful it really is and what it really is going to do. Gizmo, of course, is not like that, but the other ones are sort of, very ferocious and things like that. And I thought he really set that tone perfectly. And definitely like the message he was trying to get across there, which I thought was very well done in my opinion. I definitely really enjoyed that. The screenplay is very, very good. Chris Columbus wrote the screenplay, genius director. I've talked about how genius of a writer he is. He did a great job with this movie as well. But one of the best parts of this movie is the score. Oh my god, that score. That is by far one of the best scores in movie history. That da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's so, creepily done. It's so eerie. It's not, very, you don't really associate it with a horror movie. And yes, I would say this is a horror movie because it represents the horrors of Christmas. But the score is so well done, in my opinion, because it really represents everything the movie is trying to be. It really works, definitely. I thought the score was definitely very, very well done. I definitely really enjoy that. The cinematography is fantastic. This is fantastic cinematography, especially for 1984. This is just great cinematography. And the reason the cinematography is so good in this movie is because of these things. These things right here. I know they're like puppets or whatever, but they look amazing in this movie. They look fantastic. I thought every single one of the Mogwai they look real. They literally look like I could buy a Mogwai. That's how real these Mogwais look. And I thought they looked fantastic in this movie. Thought the cinematography was great. I love the cinematography, definitely. Great cinematography. Editing's perfect. Movie went by like that, and I thought that was great. It didn't need to be any longer than it was. It didn't need to be any longer than it was, and I thought it really was fantastic because of that. Oh, I should also talk about the voices in this movie. Frank Welker as Stripe, I thought did an amazing job. He is the main villain of this movie, and damn, Stripe is a very menacing villain, and he's basically what makes the movie very, very dark when his villain comes in. I mean, you can tell that he is going to be a bad guy. You can just tell something's not right about him, because he's one of the Mogwais that Gizmo ends up Gizmo ends up, basically, producing, he ends up multiplying more, Mogwai, and he ends up producing, basically Stripe. You can tell there's something wrong with him because he's terrorizing the family dog and everything. There's something definitely not right about him. And when we find out, and when he gets like this, oh shit, he becomes so menacing, and that was awesome to watch. All the other Mogwai also are fantastic. I thought they all did a very good job. And now let's get to some of the best parts of this movie. I'm not really going to talk about spoilers because I don't really want to, but of course we have to talk about the second half of this movie. The thing that I think this movie does the best, in my opinion, is it combines humor and drama very, very well. The thing that this movie is trying to show is the darkness of Christmas and how Christmas has sort of had dark undertones to it. Think about, there are some people, think about the people who don't believe in, like, think about the people who aren't Christian and celebrate Christmas. People think about people who don't celebrate Christmas. Think of how depressing it would be for them. This movie touches into a lot of those things, and I like the movie does that because it really represents the darkness of Christmas, which is what this movie's trying to show, and how dark Christmas can be. And take something as lighthearted as Christmas and, make it dark. I really give the movies props to that because it could fail, but it really does work because you think, oh yeah, there are people like that. I mean, I know people who, they don't care about Christmas. They don't think Christmas is a good thing. They don't like Christmas. They don't like the idea of it. And this movie really represents that. It's very sad to watch that, but it's true that there are people like that. And I feel bad for them, but I mean, that to each his own, but still, it's very sad to watch. And I think the movie represented that very, very well, definitely. And I love that message that the movie was trying to get across. Now, let's talk about the action sequences of this movie. Oh my god, the action sequences in this movie completely pay off. They're awesome to watch. When the Mogwai start attacking and everything, and you find out their real mission, and basically, they start rebelling against Billy and everything, and they hatch. That is when, I'm just gonna tell you guys, when the Mogwais hatch, that is when this movie is going to get crazy. When you see the Mogwai in cocoons, that's when the movie's about to completely change. Because from that point on, the movie's kind of lighthearted. So, like, I'd say it's even like a kid's movie in the first half. And the second half, no, not at all. The second half is like a straight-up horror movie. I will say, the funniest scene in this movie has to do with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I don't want to give it away, but that is by far the funniest scene in this movie. That scene had me cracking up the most, and I loved everything that happened in that scene. And that's basically for my review, Gremlins. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of this movie. I think this is just a fantastic movie. I love the idea of it. This movie did get a sequel. Why? I don't see the point of why this movie needs a sequel. It doesn't. But also, Steven Spielberg produced this film. He knows his stuff, definitely. Good idea to have Steven Spielberg produce this film. Because he definitely did a good job with that. But that's basically my review of Gremlins. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I, definitely recommend you guys check out this movie. If you guys have not seen this movie, watch it now. It is fantastic. It is definitely one of the best Christmas movies ever made, really. It really represents the darkness of Christmas very, very well. And I definitely really enjoy the movie because of that. And I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for the mid-season finale of American Horror Story Freak Show, which I don't know how it's going to be. I really don't. I have faith in it. I know that they... Oh, also... Why is this movie getting a reboot? Why would you want to do that? Because here's the thing with this movie. It does not work in modern times. For example, think about the scene where Billy realizes that it was midnight and that the people, they just like, basically just like, the Gremlins cut his wires basically with their teeth. That would not work in modern times because he could just look at his phone and be like, oh yeah, it's midnight. It would not work. The suspense level would not be as high as it is in the 1980s. You really should not remake this movie. If they want to remake it, fine, but keep it in the 80s. Do not make it a modern time setting. It does not work. A movie like this does not work in modern times. This really is an 80s movie, and it needs to be. It has to be. But like I said, I don't know how American Horror Story Freak Show, the finale, is going to be. I have hope in it. I'm like that they're not showing a lot of Dandy in it. I don't know how it's going to be, but we'll have to see in my review. I don't know how it's going to be. We'll see what happens. It might be the episode where I lose faith in the show. It might be the episode where I'm like, I don't really want to watch the show anymore, but we'll see what happens. It really will determine how the last 2 episodes will play out. That's really what it'll do. Also, guys, in case you guys are wondering, I'm not doing a video about the whole interview controversy. If you guys want to see my review, my thoughts on the interview being pulled and what I thought of that, just go on my Letterboxd account. I did do something about that. I talked about my thoughts on it and everything. Honestly, I'm just gonna say right now, Sony did the right thing. I think they really did. But, I know it's completely unrelated to this video, but I know you guys are probably asking me. But that's basically it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in my next video, which, as I said, will be for the, mid-season finale of American Horror Story Freak Show. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.